So while I have a few minutes here, that damn table shakes the camera. Well, I got a few minutes here. Figured I'd do my Star Wars review for a week. As always, I didn't get to see Supergirl last night. I'll watch it in the coming days. But we're talking about Star Wars Episode 8 through 9, and particularly Snoke. Now, the question about Snoke we raised today is interesting. It's not who he is per se, but if we find out who he is. Because when you think about it, it's a fair question. Do we find out who Snoke is? Because we didn't realize who Emperor Palpatine really was, because, where he came from, all that stuff. We found it out during the prequels, not the original trilogy. We barely even saw him in Episode 5. We saw him in Episode 6, eventually. So, the question is, are we going to go the route of, we're actually going to give you backstory on Snoke, and actually tell you who this guy is? Is he Plagueis? Is he this just other guy entirely? Or are we going to just give you tidbits and not actually and wait for other forms of media to introduce that? And I think they're going to go the smart route and basically give us who he is in the movies, but through flashbacks, a couple of reveals, things like that. And the reason I say is because while textbook storytelling is not necessarily the best way to go for a new series and new characters and established characters, especially a big bad like Snoke is supposed to be, you need to give an answer at some point. You can't, because the difference between Snoke and Palpatine is that we heard about Palpatine, I think, vaguely in Episode 4. I think the Emperor was mentioned once or twice. And he was briefly shown in Episode 5, and then brought in Episode 6. Snoke was already introduced in Episode 7. So this new trilogy, he's already introduced in the first movie, meaning we have to learn now more about this guy, because we've seen this guy. We've seen this guy interact with Kylo Ren, with Hux. We know he's a powerful dark side user. We know he's afraid of Luke. So we need more backstory on this guy. Otherwise, it's just going to be it's going to feel like we're being cheated by this character, I think. Now, the question is, do we find out who he really is in Episode 8 or Episode 9? That's the question. And it all depends on how the story progresses, really. That's the answer to that question. If I were to guess, I'd say we're actually going to get the reveal of who he is either by the end of Episode 8 or sometime in Episode 9. Because I think for the vast majority of Episode 8, who Snoke is not going to be the main concern. The main concern is going to be Luke training Rey, Finn going back into the field after healing up, Kylo Ren becoming a more serious threat. But by Episode 9, where new Jedis are going to be coming back into the fray, and maybe in Episode 8 we're going to see more Jedis come back into the fray, or Force users anyway. Here's hoping Finn. I'm still pitching for that Finn as a Skywalker thing, man. I'm going to hold that to death until it's revealed it's not true. That is it. Because they didn't disprove that Finn is a Skywalker yet, so I'm holding on to that. But on a more serious note, yes, I do believe by episode, and by the later part, like not even like the final act, by the last maybe half of the final act of Episode 8, we'll find out the actual identity of Snoke or background of Snoke, or if not then, definitely by Episode 9. Now the question still remains: is he Plagueis? Is he someone else? That's a video for another time. I already did my is Snoke Plagueis theory. I still stand by. I think he's still Plagueis. I think he is Plagueis, especially if the little hint they dropped in one of his scenes that the music in the background was Plagueis' theme from Revenge of the Sith. So only time will tell. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. I got a bunch of other stuff to do. I do technically have a review to do today, but the Supergirl vlog, but whether I get to her or not, it's going to be a different thing entirely. Actually, I got time. Yeah, I can probably sit down and watch it and then, do it later. So, yeah, I'll probably have it up before I leave for work. I'll still be around for a little while before I go to work today. And then, same as usual, who would win. This week's who would win, by the way. I'm still... If any of you can give me someone besides Dormammu, because Nothing against the suggestion. If maybe at a different time I'd do Dormammu versus someone, but Dormammu versus Larfleeze, Dormammu would curb stomp Larfleeze. I'm sorry. So if you can think of anyone else who's a greed-based character to face Larfleeze, I would appreciate it. But otherwise, this week's Who Will Win is actually going to be another Pokemon Battle Royale between starters. This week's starter Pokemon Battle Royale will actually be between the Hoenn starters, Blaziken, Sceptile, and Swampert. So, again, Mega Evolutions notwithstanding, that's how that's going to go down this week for Who Would Win. If you can give me a suggestion, and I'll, again, ask in the Who Would Win video, but if you can give me a suggestion for Larfleeze, the Orange Lantern versus a greed-based character, I'd appreciate it. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.